Today we're going to be talking about some of the clothing systems that I typically bring on these trips. Recently we've been getting a lot of questions from guys asking which jacket do we prefer, what kind of socks, this kind of stuff. So I just thought we would just go through my typical wardrobe selection when it comes to some of the trips that we do, whether it's during the winter time, during the summertime, because we do these trips all year round. So I've slowly been working on building my kit, so I haven't had to make a huge amount of purchase all at once, which obviously is a lot easier on the pocketbook. As time went by, I just kind of learned what worked and what didn't work for me. Some ways where I could cut some weight, and just ways to make my loadout a little bit better. This is pretty much my standard gear selection, regardless of the trip. Obviously, I'm going to modify what I'm actually bringing with me depending on the season and the type of environments that we're going to find ourselves in. So when I refer to levels, I'm starting from the thing that's closest to the skin and work my way out. So one would be the thing that's closest to your skin, such as your boxers or your t-shirt. Level 2 would be the layer that you would wear over the top of that. So ideally you want to pick something that is moisture wicking, something that as you sweat, it will push the moisture away from your skin so that it can go to the external layers where it can evaporate easily. So what I've got here is from the Protective Combat Uniform line of clothing that was issued sometime around the early 2000s. There's a lot of articles, great articles about it online. If you just look up PCU, Protective Combat Uniform clothing, you can see that whole layering system explained and what each layer does. So my loadout basically is loosely based on this kind of a layering system. So since we're talking about level 1 next to skin stuff, I've got my Icebreaker Merino Wool boxer briefs, and I've got a merino wool long sleeve shirt. I typically will wear this during the colder months or colder environments, whereas I'd go with this one if it was during the summertime. I also have an Icebreaker merino t-shirt that I wear again during the warmer temperatures. And then I've got merino wool long johns that I'll wear typically when I'm sleeping. And then I've got my merino wool socks. Next up, I have my level 3, which is basically a fleece top. There is also a level 3 fleece bottom. I don't have that just because the temperatures here, I haven't found that I really needed anything more than just my merino wool base layer top. So the level 3 fleece top consists of a shaggy type fleece, a heavy fleece. It is designed to dry quickly should it get wet or get soaked through if you're sweating a lot. However, it's not ideal for if you're on the move or during times of high activity, because you will tend to sweat quite a bit in it. So I typically wear this at base camp. Once we're already at camp, I'll wear it underneath whatever terminal layers I'll have, just as an insulator. Going to areas that are going to be colder, or if we're going to be doing some winter snowshoeing type activities, I'll have other similar fleeces that I will substitute this with. First up, I've got my Patagonia R3 fleece, which is basically a grid fleece on the armpits for extra venting, and a similar fleece material, but thinner than the standard ECWS or PCU fleece. It's a little bit lighter weight, and overall it's just a bit lighter. Obviously not as warm as this, but if it's, depending on, again, how cold it's going to be, I might bring that. If it's going to be really cold, then I have the Shagmaster from Triple Aught Design. So this is a very heavy fleece. I would say it's about double the weight of the PCU level 3 fleece. A lightweight kind of fleece type material or garment. I would bring my Arc'teryx Leaf Naga hoodie. So I really like this Naga hoodie because it's lightweight, it dries quickly, and I am able to use it during moments of activities. So the next layer is the level 4, which is a thin windproof layer that is just there to create that barrier between your skin and the wind, or it can be worn underneath another garment to just increase that layer of protection. Level 4 garments tend to be quite thin but are very lightweight and packable, but they don't do too well under abrasion and are not meant for situations where you're going to be rubbing up against rocks or branches and things like that. The level 4 shirt is typically worn underneath another layer to increase the warmth. So next up we have the level 5, which consists of a jacket and the pants. The level 5 is arguably the cornerstone of the PCU layering system and is one of the most coveted items of the PCU layering system. And over the past several years, a lot of people in the civilian world, hiking world, have discovered the beauty of this type of garment, and the prices even used on eBay has gone up quite a bit for these items, and they're getting harder and harder to find. But if you do manage to find one for a reasonable price, it's a great item. This one is made by Patagonia, and it's designed to be able to keep you warm. It's not meant to keep you dry. It'll actually soak up the water if you get caught in a rainstorm or some kind of snow. It will get wet easily, but it will also dry very fast. So even completely soaked, this garment will keep you incredibly warm. And they've done a ton of testing about this with this material up in Alaska. There's a ton of information out there, some great resources available about this particular garment. Definitely, I suggest checking that out. It's an amazing garment. But the soft shell jacket basically has a hood that you can throw on under your helmet. If you've got a climbing helmet or something like that, you can throw it over your helmet if you'd like. Next up, we have the level 6 layer, which is a Gore-Tex shell, a Gore-Tex jacket, and a Gore-Tex pants. So Gore-Tex was chosen specifically because it is lightweight, packable, and breathable. I substituted the jacket with the Arc'teryx Leaf Alpha LT, which you see here in the crocodile color. I do have a couple of garments to choose from for this particular layer. First up, we'll have my Raptor hoodie from Triple Aught Design, made with the Neo Shell fabric. Next up, we've got my Defiant hoodie from Prometheus Design Works. The Defiant hoodie is a hybrid soft shell garment that is fully waterproof and seam taped. It is constructed out of Schoeller's Sea Change membrane and is an amazing garment that I did a detailed review on in a previous video. So this is the level 6 Gore-Tex pant. It's a hard shell pant from Beyond, and this is still my go-to pant. It's very packable, super lightweight, and that goes along with my waterproof jacket. So finally, we have here the level 7, which consists of the jacket, a long sleeve jacket, a vest, and the pants. So they are both, all the garments in this level are synthetic filled. They are quite heavy, but very, very warm. So I also have a couple of options to choose from in this particular level. First up, I've got my Leaf Atom SV from Arc'teryx. So I will typically wear this as a 3-season jacket when the temperatures aren't super cold. It is very thin and very packable, but if it's not going to be too cold, then this works out just great, and I can save a lot of the weight and the bulk. Recently though, for my winter hikes, I've pretty much switched over to the Stratus hoodie, the down hoodie from Prometheus Design Works. This is an amazing garment, extremely packable, extremely warm, provides actually more warmth to weight ratio than the level 6, and is a fraction of the weight and extremely packable, barely takes up any size of my pack. So this is definitely my go-to and has pretty much replaced the level 6 garment, level 7 garment for me. So if again, I did a review of this particular garment in a previous video, so definitely check that out. So a couple other clothing items that I bring are my Arc'teryx Leaf Row beanie, and I've got some Gore-Tex socks, which I like to wear over the top of my wool socks when I sleep, so that if, particularly in the winter time, if I need to step outside of my tent to go to the bathroom or something like that, I can just keep my Gore-Tex socks on, walk on the snow, and do my thing, and then come back in without having to worry about my socks getting wet or trying to put my feet in my boots or something like that. Or it adds that extra warmth to my boots, to my socks, and then if for some reason I get a leak in my boot, is just an added layer of protection for me. The thing I like the most about the PCU layering system is the fact that it is a layering system. Each individual layer can be worn in conjunction with the other layers. I know that they all work with each other. If I need to add warmth, I know I can add, certain levels to it. If I want to be a little bit cooler, then I'll just subtract some of the layers. If I need some more insulation, if I need waterproofness, then I can add or subtract any of the layers, and I know they all work perfectly together or on their own, and it just allows me to have all of these garments in my arsenal that I can use throughout the year, and I don't have to buy multiple different items that This kind of method, I find, eliminates the redundancies in my kit, which ends up saving me money, saves me space, and makes it easy for me when I'm packing for a trip. I can just have a look at the different layers and what I'm going to need. I like that each of the layers work well with the other layers or on their own, and that I can modify my loadout depending on the environment or the climates that I'll be finding myself in. The other thing that I really like about it is that it allows me to purchase premier brand clothing items with prices that are about a third of the COTS equivalents. So for example, the Gore-Tex, say an Arc'teryx Gore-Tex jacket would probably cost me around $700, whereas if I bought the level 6 Gore-Tex jacket that's made by Work Industries or Beyond, it would probably run me about a third of that. So definitely that is an added bonus for me. Cost savings is kind of a factor. This is not something that I'm doing for a job. This is a hobby that I have, and while I enjoy it a lot and spend a lot of time in the outdoors, I'm not making any money from these things. So I need to be able to kind of justify the money that I'm spending on this hobby and save money wherever I can. Obviously, as people are discovering the utility of these layering systems and how great they actually are, more and more civilians are starting to pick up on this, and so over the last few years, I've seen the prices of PCU garments, even used ones, skyrocket. So if you do peruse the various surplus stores or online, eBay and things like that, and you find some at a good price, I would definitely snag that up, especially the level 5s, because they are, like I said, getting harder and harder to find. Well, that just about does it, guys. I hope you guys found some value in this video, and it wasn't too long. If you have any specific questions that I wasn't able to cover, go ahead and put it in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get you some answers. In the meantime, if you did enjoy the video, consider hitting that like and subscribe. It would really help our channel out. And thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you guys outside.